How I love to vibe when I'm vibing with you. How I love to vibe when the vibing is true. How I love to vibe when I'm vibing with you. We're vibing, we're vibing, we're vibing, we're vibing. It's Mike and Cass vibing out. Hello, Governor.
Hello.
This is Cass.
And this is Mike.
Hello, beautiful spirit.
Hello, beautiful spirit.
So good to see you.
Yeah, so good to be with you today.
Yeah.
And be sharing this with all of you who are listening or watching, whether that's on the podcast, on our YouTube channel. And forgot to say this in a lot of other episodes, but if you want to check us out on other social media platforms, that will be either down in the description or in the show notes. So check that out to get all our content on whatever platform is easiest for you. But today we just want to do a little quick episode about what did we even agree on? I literally just forgot. I was talking.
Getting out of your own way.
There we go.
Sometimes the thoughts just coagulate in the brain where you get stuck. And that's a part of the problem of you need to be getting out of your own way.
So I'm the example of what not to do. So that's what we're going to be talking about.
And we all are guilty of this, and, that translates into so many things. At the end of the day, foundationally, the path to enlightenment is really getting out of your own way. Realizing at your core, at your very foundation of yourself that you're perfect. That you're a beautiful spirit, no matter what's happened to you in your life or decisions you've made, that part of you that has never been harmed, and that's your spirit, and knowing that you're perfect just as you are. And so one of those things, and so we have to go through life to get out of our own way, getting rid of certain thought processes, guilt, forgiveness, lack of forgiveness for ourselves and others, certain relationships that don't serve us. But at the end of the day, it's all about getting out of our own way, getting back to who we really are and that true self.
Very true. Because I feel like your mind and yourself could be your best friend, can be your worst enemy. It depends on how much you actually take responsibility for how you're doing in life and what you're feeling and what you are trying to achieve and stuff. And there's going to be external kind of blockages that kind of come up, but overall, I feel like it's up to us to really push forward into what we want and the life we want to be living. And if you really have that drive and you have that just intention to, get back to your true self, that just space in you that is just full of love and full of infinite potential, then you'll reach that if you just keep pushing forward with that intention.
Now, understanding that we all have good days and bad days. Things aren't going to be perfect. And so with that being said, I wanted to ask you, what's one thing that you've struggled with and, one way that you've gotten out of your own way or several?
So the first thing that popped into my head right now was social anxiety. I spent so many years of my life, especially my freshman and sophomore year in college. I'm a fourth year now, just to put a little perspective and context in it. But freshman and sophomore year, I literally barely went out because I was just so scared. I would not do anything with anyone. Was terrified of joining groups on campus that I really wanted to join because I was I'm scared. I don't want to do this. And then realizing after I kind of dug deep into spiritual practices, personal development, that this social anxiety may not completely go away. I still struggle with that at times, but I'm not allowing that to make decisions for me anymore.
What was the catalyst for the shift, and what do you think were some of the causes? Because I think a lot of people can relate to that. We all have our insecurities or ways we might feel self-conscious, and it's just different levels and different degrees, and obviously, that's an extreme, but I think that's honestly, especially these days, more common than not. And
it's so sad,
there's things that, before you answer that, also popped into my head. What are you holding yourself back from? Part of getting out of your way is not holding yourself back from the things that will ultimately bring you joy. What are the things that where fear, which is a liar, is holding you back from doing the things that will bring more joy in your life? you know, and I just want to reiterate, even though you may know it's within yourself, you have nothing to be afraid of. Fear is the biggest lie there is.
Truly, what's the worst that could happen, you know?
Right, exactly.
Like, really.
And when you lean into that, 9 out of 10 times, 9.9 out of 10 times, you find that fear is a liar and you had nothing to be afraid of all along. So as part of getting out of your way is stop holding yourself back from your greatest good.
Yeah.
Holding yourself back, settling for relationships that that don't serve you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's guilty of that. And that's in all forms and manner, whether it be friendships, intimate relationships, even like sometimes our well-meaning families, don't serve the highest and best intentions for us, so you got to realize, holding yourself back. So back to you,
mm-hmm.
What was the catalyst for you getting over the hump?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think the main cause was from what you can see now?
I think, the cause, so many things. I feel like conditioning from the past, living in this society that where we're kind of told to care about what people think. And so anytime someone would judge me or I think that they might judge me, I wouldn't do whatever it was. And I'm somebody who my true self is weird and out there and loud and expressive and stuff. So since that's not the norm, even though I believe that is actually the norm, we just don't allow ourselves to do it. But since that's not what we see in society, I was held back from that. And so I don't know even, what the specific cause was. Definitely toxic relationships I had been in the past where when I would be my true self and go out and meet people and be just social and stuff, I'd get judged. And so that was definitely lots of things that intertwined and kind of created that feeling in me. And then definitely having different friends in college versus high school. Like I was not necessarily around the best people sometimes in high school, but I was around a lot of people, and a lot of my friends that I still talk to and stuff are people that I can like talk so openly to. Just I'm super open and honest, and they're the same way. And so I was used to that. Going into college, not realizing some people aren't like that. They don't like talking so openly. So when I would, they'd be like, why are you talking about that? That's like something we don't talk about, like taboo subjects. And I'm like, why? Like, why don't we just talk about this? Right. So definitely that. But then the catalyst for me kind of getting over that, I think, was when COVID started. I had a lot of time alone. Which I didn't before. I was living in a dorm with 2 other people, so one room, you're constantly around people. Definitely not a place to be as introspective as we all maybe should be at times. So, going home and doing that, and meditation. Meditation kind of opened my eyes to all these other concepts, and I think that was the root of the catalyst that helped me, and it was really not going to any outside source and just going from within myself. So
I think that's a good transition into quick life hacks for getting out of your own way.
Okay.
Meditation, absolutely. Foundationally, brings you back to center, has so many benefits beyond anything, but coming back to your true self brings power, courage, and more light and love within yourself, unconditional love for yourself. That's a great self-love practice. Number 2, leaning into fear. Leaning into fear. Try it out. It works.
Yeah.
Lean into it and start asking questions. Start asking questions like why and what am I afraid of exactly? And it's very easy, like at least in measure, to see through fear because it's story that is telling you it's such BS and it's not grounded or founded on anything. So as you start asking empowering questions, and you lean into it, a lot of times it busts open. And the more you start practicing, things that you're afraid of, you start expanding your existence and your horizons. Number 3, realizing that you're either living or not living. And living from a place of fear and holding back, you're not living. You're just existing.
You're just alive.
You're not actually living. That's not life. So you gotta consciously choose life. Choose to be courageous. Choose to consciously be courageous and not a freaking coward. Nobody wants to be a coward. And realize when you let fear run your life, you're being a damn coward. Let's just call it what it is. And we're all guilty of it. So just those couple things if you put them into practice right away, they'll pay high dividends. And I say it because I put them into practice, and so that's this one here.
Definitely. I do want to add to the fear thing, just real quick, because this has helped me like crazy, is when leaning into fear, sometimes it's hard for people to know, like, how do I even do that? Do I just go towards every single thing that scares me or whatever? One thing is I like to notice how fear is just a physiological response from maybe something that's happened in the past. We're kind of assuming that's going to happen again and we didn't like the experience. Or it's just a survival instinct that's in us, but that doesn't mean it's actually a bad thing. And so sometimes what I do is just start noticing how my body feels instead of like labeling it as, oh my God, I'm so scared, like this is bad. I'm just like, oh, my heart's racing. Okay, that's interesting. Or my palms are getting sweaty. Okay. Like just kind of realizing these things and noticing that it's just my body's reaction and my mind's reaction to whatever I'm assuming is going to happen. And that doesn't mean that it's good or bad.
Just to pinpoint what she said to wrap that up. Example. Two people look at the same different thing in two different ways. There was two artists that are iconic, famous. One battled amazing amount of stage fright. And what would happen? Her palms would get sweaty. You know, her heart would start beating faster. And she was like, I cannot go on stage. You know, I don't know. I might literally die on stage. Other person, same qualities. Hands were sweating. Heart was pounding. And that other person was like, that's how I know I'm ready.
Like, I'm excited.
That's how I know I'm ready.
Yeah.
You know, so how you interpret those physiological things that are happening within your body and just, first of all, noticing them takes energy and power away from them. That's taking your power back.
True.
That's taking your power back. And two, determining what they mean is also super powerful within itself. So that's dope. And that's a great way to wrap up.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Good on you.
Good on you, too. That was a good episode. I hope y'all enjoyed this and hope you took something from it. I know these things have helped me like crazy, probably have helped you like crazy. And just lean into that fear. I promise it will benefit you in the long run. It's so scary, but once you get through that, you'll have the courage to do even more and just step into this amazing life that is just waiting for you. So
be courageous. Live a life you deserve.
Yes.
Be courageous. Live a life you deserve. We love you. Till next time, this is Cass. I'm Mike. Continue vibing out in the highest and best in every aspect of your life, and we will see you next time. Peace.